Great to have you with us on Speed Week, and we now head to Mount Panorama for improved production racing. It's not an easy track for anyone to negotiate, not even international drivers from Formula One and the World Touring Car Series, who recently described it as intimidating and seriously dangerous. Let's take a look now at how the improved production class got on.
It's not only one of the most iconic racetracks in Australia, it's known throughout the world. And when the Donut King Improved Production Challenge were asked to come and race here for the 5th time in succession, they jumped at the challenge with a 40-strong competitive field. As a rule, the improved production cars race within their own state as part of their own series, and this is the only time in the year they come to match their wares against the entire nation. Well, the cars are coming out on the grid to get set for the first race of the weekend. They've been pumped up for this. After qualifying, Hislop is the man to beat, but this is not just about driver against driver. This is also state against state. Gary Manell joining us up here in commentary. Gary, this is a really exciting category and a race weekend this weekend that sees guys doing battle against each other. There's two Tasmanians on the front row in Ray Hislop and Lee Forrest. Those two are going to be extremely competitive here, but there is the top 10 starting grid. This should be a really interesting race.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic race, and like you say, with Ray Hislop out there.
Oh, a car stalled on the grid. One of the BMWs not getting off the line so far. Everybody able to get past Marcello. Ryan Marcello able to dive to the right, not collect up another driver. Be interesting to see if that car does keep going, but there is the one car out in front. Ray Hislop leads them up the mountain for the first time.
Yeah, I think that was the BMW of Brian Anderson who stalled on the grid, so it'll be interesting to see whether he gets going again. He did some good qualifying times leading up to this race.
Look at the lead that Hislop's already able to pull out. He has just bolted away on this opening couple of turns. He is driving a very, very big fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. Defending champion from last year, and look, he's already extending his lead. Lee Forrest right behind him. Looks like Warren Millet's up there as well, so they're really starting to spread out a bit already.
Now, if you haven't seen the improved production cars before in the past, you're in for an absolute treat, because these drivers race extremely hard. That BMW did get going, which was a good side. They race extremely hard, but they don't have the massive budgets of, say, V8 supercar teams, so they tend to be a little bit kinder when it comes to putting people into concrete walls or leaning against each other, Gaz.
Yeah, that's right. Improved production is based in every state. Every state has a club, and they run just, like you say, on weekends and have a bit of fun. But this really is the highlight of their year, and coming to Bathurst to race and support the 12 hours has been fantastic.
So just to explain that a little bit more, the New South Wales has their own series, Victoria has their own series. Right across the country, it's exactly like that. Then they all come together for this Donut King Improved Production Challenge this weekend. I suppose in some turns, this is their Indianapolis 500 or their Daytona. Yeah,
it is. That's right. It certainly is. And they really look forward to it each year. And yeah, the guys at the front, they are serious about it, and they take it very seriously, their motorsport. And look, they're out there having a great time. Good on them.
Their 5th year of racing here at Mount Panorama as part of the 12-hour weekend. 37 cars qualified. Gives you an idea of how very popular this race is. So we watch the 7-car making its way down through the chase.
Yeah,
that's Justin Wade that we heard from in our feature interview, a very likeable pilot.
Yeah, fantastic guy, Justin. Been around improved production for a long time, and good peddler. That car's about 12 months old. He's came and did a round at Eastern Creek with the V8 supports earlier on in the middle of last year, and out there again having a good go at Bathurst. Yeah.
Looks like he's just having a little bit of trouble turning that car in. Hasn't picked up the last 2 apexes, but I did chat to him before they went out there for the first race, and he said the car is performing and handling exceptionally well around this track.
Yeah, look, the tyre that they're using this year is the Yokohama, the AO50, and we've only been on that tyre for the last 12 months, and a lot of guys still getting their head around the setup of the car, and obviously not getting a chance to test at Bathurst during the course of the year. You've got to be get out of the blocks pretty early when you come here.
Just have a listen to that. Andrew Cherney making his way up the mountain, the car screaming its head off. He was overtaken and went down one spot, but wow, what a great sound from the improved production cars.
Yeah, and Andrew there, he's in an under 2 litre car, and we see another under 2 litre car there, a Scott Hunter in the little early model Corolla. Yeah, those under 2 litre cars punching way above their weight line.
Baghdadi with a problem from 17th to 33rd. and a little bit of smoke coming from back of a few of these cars. Here's what happened. Just talk us through how you see it, Gary.
Yeah, it looks like Baghdadi's lost an oil line or something there. He had problems in the qualifying session, the practice session, and obviously they haven't been able to get on top of that problem just yet. And here we see Lee Forrest from Tasmania. This is a turbocharged early model Toyota Celica, and he comes out every year and races really, really hard. And see the gap back to third place. Looks like Bob Brewer in the Commodore in third. Then we've got Warren Millett, Ryan Michello, and then a Magna. Yes, you heard, folks. You heard right, folks. That's a Mitsubishi Magna out there. John Woodward from South Australia. Fantastic to see him.
Lee Forrest is just running a little bit wide there. Brewer. He got it wrong coming through the chase. You could see the car understeered straight off the track. Whether he left his turn in or was just a little bit tight, well, he'll be able to decide that for himself. But either way, he's lost a couple of spots as a result. Oh, and one off into the sand trap.
That looks like Ian Statham from South Australia in another Magna. That's not a very good place to park. So we see the safety car come out, and they'll here we go.
Stantham, here's the replay. Oh, wow, how lucky was he?
Straight through. Obviously didn't even get to take the corner, went straight across. We've seen that so many times with other categories here. The V8 supercars, number of cars have gone straight through the chase and end up in the sand trap.
Oh, it looked like a total brake failure, and that's certainly enough to get your heart in your mouth. But they've done so much work here at Mount Panorama to make it a nice, safe track, and as a result, the car arrested in the sand trap. On board with Ray Hislop, who had a pretty big lead. It's all been reduced thanks to the safety car, but listen to his motor.
That's pure grunt, isn't it, eh? That's what you like to hear. And Ray, he's done a lot of work, campaigner for a number of years in improved production, had an early EL Falcon, and now he's got this BF, and he's absolutely on fire today.
Look at the car sliding through the cutting there. Absolutely unbelievable. The back of the car stepping out gives you an idea of how much horsepower he has. Now, Forrest, he's a really interesting character. You were talking about his car and how pumped up it is and how it's got so much horsepower. Such a diminutive young man, you know, like he's just such a quiet-spoken individual.
He'll love you for saying young. But look, the battle for third here is actually quite interesting. We've got two New South Wales cars, Warren Millett and Anthony Loscialpo, both in VYs or VZ Commodores, and they are absolutely going at it hammer and tong. We just saw in the background there, but look at this little Celica across the top of the mount, absolutely on the ragged edge.
Isn't he throwing it around too? He's not scared to have a go as we go back on board with Andrew Cheney. Further back in the field, you can see plenty of work for him to do. 3 cars up in front, and they all seem to be running around at the same sort of pace.
Yeah, that's the David Walden's brand new RX-8 there right in front of him, and that's throwing a nice little flame on the after throttle there. But Andrew Cherney, as I said it before, punching way above his weight here. This is an under 2 litre car, so it's only a 2 litre engine in there, and he normally runs in the State Series as an under 2 litre car and doing a fantastic job. And
he's pretty psyched too. He wants to have a go at those guys in front. You can see from the body language, he just wants to get on with it. And certainly, as you see so far in the results or the standings, he's got the capability to do so.
Yeah, as we see Lee come into the chase here, really deep under the brakes, and there we go, a couple more cars. There's Andrew Cheney, the little blue car, and the other second under 2 litre car of Scott Hunter. Look at that, right behind him. So there's a real battle on here for the under 2 litre title.
Well, that's why Cheney was keen to get on with it, because he's got somebody knocking on his rear wing at the moment and needs to get past and try and maintain this position. But the 21 car, tell you what, it's not bad in a straight line itself, is it?
Absolutely. Scott Hunter, another guy who's been at Mount Panorama on a number of occasions and had all sorts of troubles. We see Ryan Marcello who overshoot the last corner coming onto the pit straight.
Yeah, just run out of brakes by the looks of things. Gets back on. He'll lose a couple of spots, but he'll be pretty pumped up to try and get back up with this pack.
Now look at this. We've seen Scott Hunter. He's actually overtaken the RX-8 going up Mountain Straight now. We're going to see exactly what's happening, but here we go. Here's the replay for Ryan missing the corner.
Yeah, and a wise choice too. He could see that he was carrying too much speed, and rather than push a bad situation, drop a couple of spots, live to play another day, and collect some valuable challenge points at the end of this race.
Yeah, that's right. See, if he pushed too hard on the brake pedal there, all he's going to do is just lock his tyres, flat spot, and probably throw away 4 tyres that'll be rather worn out.
And points too, which is the important thing for this weekend. Great little dice going on here.
Yeah, this is, as I said, David Walden in the RX-8. Oh, got squeezed out very close. Looks like Marty Miller in his solar blasting VY HSV, but look at this, Scott Hunter once again up the inside.
Great little overtaking manoeuvre, or attempt at same, down in the final turn. Marty Miller's been around for a while. He's raced in a variety of different categories. Had a launch at the Utes a few years ago. Budgetary problems kept him out of that, but he still manages to pop his head up with some fairly decent machinery and go out there and challenge for positions out on the track, as the 78 car has come off in the chase as well. Looks like he's had an outbraking issue.
Yeah, that's Bill Shoots. Normally that car is raced by his son Ben Shoots from Victoria, but Ben's given the keys over to his old man and let him have a bit of fun. And
may take him back at the end of this. The safety car pulls in. We're about to go racing again. It's Hislop leading Forrest. Those two, 1 and 2. They've been dominant so far in this first race of the weekend. Hislop just puts the power down and disappears. Lee Forrest is not able to do so. He's got a little bit of a challenge behind him. Just one more lap to go. The battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th still on in earnest.
And there's the BMW Brian Anderson, who stalled it.
What a great recovery, Gary.
Absolutely fantastic. Brian's been around for a long time. That's a fantastic little BMW coupe there. And yeah, he's really making his way back up through the pack.
And it's a big pat on the back for his driving style too. Even though there was a problem at the start, he didn't get carried away, didn't get himself into situations where he was being tagged by other drivers or pushing a bad situation. He's been calculative, he's overtaken cars as the opportunities arisen, kept the car nice and clean, and as a result of that's got to pick up some valuable points.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably up in about the top dozen cars already, so that's a great recovery from stalling on the grid and possibly you know, having someone crash into the back of him.
Across the top of the mountain for the final time, Lee Forrest is able to give himself a little bit of a breathing space over the nice little battle going on behind. Warren Millett right in the guts of this one, with plenty to prove.
Yeah, Warren's been around for a long time. He's actually been racing in the Ute series, but still loves to come and race with improved production. And look at that, the BMW, Justin Wade across the top of the mountain. Here we go, down over Skyline, through the S's here. And here we go, look at this old V8 Commodore giving the Commodore a run for his money.
Warren Millett would race a sewing machine if you gave him the opportunity and put wheels on it. He loves to go racing.
He certainly does. He's a supporter of a number of events around the country and does a great job in the Utes and improved production as well.
Justin Wade on the final time, coming onto Conrod Straits. Cars in front of him, cars behind him. This is the beauty of improved production car racing. They are so tight, so competitive, except for this guy out in front who has just bolted away so far this weekend. A great job by Ray Hislop down through the chase for the final time. Forrest has kept him pretty honest throughout this race, but hasn't really had the horsepower to match it.
No, look, Ray's got a fantastic engine there, but look at this, the RX-8 Dave Warden up the inside. These two is having a right old battle here, but take it out for Ray Hislop. Put your hands together, that's fantastic.
Great result, a win in race 1 for the Tasmanian, and in fact it'll be Tasmanians 1 and 2. We'll never hear the end of this. Forrest comes across the line, he takes that 2nd spot in the Toyota Celica, and 3rd it was Warren Millett. He was able to hang off some very tough challenges from behind. What a great way to finish this first race of the weekend. But Ray Hislop takes it out with that Falcon of his. A fantastic performance by him. Lee Forrest 2nd, Warren Millett in 3rd spot, all the way down to 10th, and it was Scott Hunter that finished in 10th spot. Well, the Tasmanians seem to be the people to beat. We'll find out how they go in race 2 after this break.